Okay, Brereton. And I'm outside, boy. Outside. Trinidad, outside. I'm holy, but I'm outside. This is the real spiel, the Shiloh Institute. Coming to you on a balmy Canadian morning. Overcast sky. And the weatherman is a damn liar. He's like Christopher Columbus. He's a liar. He's a liar. It was supposed to be 28 degrees. I put my outfit out and I said, the devil is a liar. It shall warm up and sun shall come out. I don't care if there's no sun outside. I'm wearing my sunglasses because it match my outfit because I'm outside. Listen, I want to talk about a fella, a gentleman, and if I'm Jamaican, I say a gentleman, who is a one-man minstrel show, boy. A one-man jackass, if we would say it in Trinidad. Let me go back to my country. The man is a jackass. The man is one jackass, and not the kind of jackass that Jesus was riding on to come into Jerusalem. He's a jackass. President, I don't know if to call him that, but that's what he is. President Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. Oh, you can't do better than that? The man is really a comedian for real, because I don't understand the diplomacy of an international beggar, because that's effectively what Zelensky is. He is an international beggar. He goes everywhere begging. The man who had no administration, huh? He has no Secretary of State. He has no Minister of Foreign Affairs. He just jump on a plane and has all of his meetings. Is he his own secretary? What kind of bacchanal happening in Ukraine? No wonder all them Ukrainians run out of here and come to Canada, boy. Listen, Zelensky went to Turkey the other day. And on his Turkish trip, his agenda was to meet with President Putin of Russia. Putin never tell you showing up. Putin sent a delegation to sit down and have conversation with Zelensky about maintaining a ceasefire, on stopping their little tribal war. They have a little tribal war going on there, but those guys, you know, they're fighting amongst themselves. They're cousins fighting amongst themselves. They have a little tribal skirmish, right? That's what that is. They love to call Africans tribal, and they're having a little tribal skirmish amongst themselves. It's not a real big deal to us. That's their business. That is their business. And quite frankly, if Trinidad invaded Jamaica, well, you wouldn't care. And Jamaica should be happy. Oh, you should be happy. You come in, we're going to bring you pilau. We're going to fix your most of your problems where you don't really understand the difference between callaloo and spinach bush. We're going to fix that for you. Okay? We'll organize you very nicely. We'll fix your accent. Give you a nice little accent so you can sound like me. Right? We'll extend the University of the West Indies onto all you. Okay? Make you a nice place. Organize you very nicely. And you shouldn't complain. However, we understand you Jamaicans, you know. Some of you Maroons might come out of the mountains and say, hey, we ain't going for that. And there's a little bit of a skirmish. It's a tribal thing. That's exactly what's happening over there. That's exactly what happened over there. It's a tribal thing. They're having a little tribal skirmish. But Zelensky and Putin have their little children killing each other. That's really what's happening. You guys having your little children going around shooting each other. These little Russian guys. I have some Russian friends there. These guys don't want to fight nobody like that. These men want to wear fancy clothes and drive nice car and things. They're not interested in shooting their cousins. That's what's happening. And so Zelensky goes there to meet in Turkey, a neutral place supposedly. And he sits down and he realizes Putin did not come to the meeting. Because who called Putin to come to meeting? You call him? You arrange that? You put that in his Google Calendar? Putin isn't coming to no meeting. Trump said, I will go if Putin is going. Well, that's wonderful diplomacy right there. You going? I don't know if I'm going, you know, boy. I don't know. I don't have nothing to wear. I don't know. I feel like staying in my bed. Okay, well, let me know, man, because I over here in Saudi Arabia, these man whining and dining me. But this clown want to meet with us and all kind of thing. He didn't meet with it. You see when I meet with him on television, I had to slap him up. In fact, I didn't waste my time. I made Vance slap him up. I'm sure that's the conversation they're having. Because all this man is running around doing is begging people to give him weapons. Give us money for weapons. We need help. We need to fight. We need this. We need that. When your backside just needs to sit down and stay in your place. There's something called the Warsaw Pact, the Warsaw Act, whichever way you want to call it. And that was something that was drawn up when these terrorists called NATO, the North American terrorist organization, right? You always say treaty, it's terrorists. When those terrorists decided that they were going to unite so that no one can try to bust their tail like Hitler almost did, they said, hey, hold on, you guys can unite, you know, but make sure, if you don't want no trouble, don't cross this line. Okay, and they drew a little line, and on the wrong side of the line was the Ukrainian nation that said, you cannot come over here and create no allies. We don't want no spies in our backyard. And effectively, that is what the West has been doing with the Ukraine. Why though? Why? Just because we like Ukrainian women, Ukrainian food? What is it? We want more blonde, blue-eyed kids hanging around Europe? No. It's because Ukrainian is rich in uranium, the stuff that makes nuclear weapons. And so they want a very advantageous relationship with them, and they want to cut Russia off from that. To say, hey, we can't let Russia have this place, man. This place has some minerals that we need to blow people up. Which is why Trump said, you want my help? I want all your thing. I want to own your minerals. You want help? I will move in there and look Putin right in his face and say, hey, this bae is mine now. She's mine. We dating and we go together real bad. That's what he would have did. If you give up your minerals, you have to give up your things. That's the hood rules, girl. You got to give up your minerals, baby. If you want me to be your boo, you got to give up your minerals. And he said, I can't sell off my country like that. I can't sell off my country. Your country is gone. Gone as soon as Russia really decide to box you. But they don't want to box you up because they don't want to mash up all their minerals. They can't slap you up too much. It's like Puffy and Cassie. I want to slap you around, but I want to take you out tonight, so I don't want too many bruises on you. They don't want to mash up all that good uranium that is there. They don't want to mess that up, so they can't just blow up the place like Gaza. There's nothing in Gaza. That's why they blow up Gaza, so there's nothing in Gaza. Nothing is there to dig up. So Israel said, I'm going to blow you up. I'm going to blow you up deep. I'm going to blow you up wide. I'm going to blow you up high because ain't nothing in here. I just want you out. Russia can't do that to them, right? And plus, there's a lot of Russians sitting around in the Ukraine saying, hey, relax now, relax. You know, we're over here. Hey, you know, some of us is here. So organize yourself. Point your bombs in the right direction. Don't blow me up. Don't blow up your cousin and your nephew and all them kind of people, because those people are kinfolk. Period. Right? I know a lot of you can't handle these glasses, so I'm gonna give you a little time out because I'm outside, but everybody can't handle me being outside. I don't know why. I know why everybody's got a advantage of my fashion style. You know what I'm saying? I'm outside. It's summertime. We get 1 month of summer in Canada. Listen, you can't miss a day. You can't miss 1 second of it. So, Zelensky, in my opinion, is fighting an uphill battle, right? He is paddling up a hill with no rowboat and no oars. He's just paddling with his own hands. And he has definitely, gotten a lot of money from Canada. He's gotten a lot of money from America. But you know what? People are sick of it now. People are tired of it now. Because we have examples of what true leadership looks like, and it doesn't look like Zelensky. And call Trump what you may, as far as when you're comparing him to other world leaders, his decisiveness, his capacity to be authoritative. When you compare him to the clown show, the minstrel show of Zelensky, Churchill, compared to that guy saying something, because Trump is ain't nowhere near Winston Churchill. So, look, if you don't know who Winston Churchill is, look him up. Okay? Look him up. Look up Winston Churchill speeches. Yeah? We shall fight on the beaches. We shall never surrender. Yeah, check him out. Check him out. All right. Where are these guys here? Black Latinos for Trump. I don't know where these trolls come from, boy. Soon it's going to be. It used to be. It was Latinos for Trump a couple of days ago. Now it's Black Latinos for Trump. Next it's going to be Latinos with freckles and bad teeth for Trump. Like, how many factions do you guys have? Like, how many? Like, the Latinos need to organize, because you guys, your vote is getting split every kind of way. There's the Latinos, the Black Latinos. Oh my, there's the short Latinos. Oh goodness gracious. You got Latinos for Trump. Latinos for Trump are just white guys that speak Spanish. I'm sorry. Listen, am I being racist today? Is it racist? Ukraine. I'm on Ukraine. I'm gonna jump on you Latinos. Let me jump on you Latinos. Latinos that support Trump are just white guys that occasionally speak Spanish. You don't have a Spanish accent. You pass for being white, right? You want the privileges. You want the privileges of being white in America. You want white privilege in America, right? But unless you told us, we would never know. Unless we met you in Taco Bell, we would never know that you are a Latina or a Latino. We never know. We think you're white because you want the privilege of whiteness, which is why you are Latinos for Trump. And now you're trying to bring in your darker skinned cousins and say, well, it's Black Latinos too. We want white privilege too in America. Whoa, what are you doing? Wow. Pay attention. Black Latinos for Trump. You guys are very interesting to me. Anyway, here we go. Zelensky, back to him. If Zelensky was an African leader, they would have already blown him up. They would have already have killed him and replaced him with somebody that they can get along with. If Zelensky was an African leader, they would have already have had, like they have with Ibrahim Traoré, the president, right? Our president, Asriel Moore, Dr. David Israel, all the honorifics, Pastor Thompson, the bishops of Faith Temple Apostolic International Ministry, our prelate, Bishop McCullough, to his son, Pastor McCullough, to the evangelist, and all the friends that are in the building. What's going on? Miss Jeanette, okay? If he was an African leader, they would have killed him. 14 attempts on President Ibrahim Traoré's life. 14 attempts by European imperialist colonizing despots. They would have already killed Zelensky a long time. And Zelensky, and you guys got to watch the things that come out of my mouth, because the things that come out of my mouth are true. And someone's going to poison him. They got to make it look very, very simple. Something's going to happen to him because he's becoming an annoyance to the world, and he's becoming an embarrassment. Trump is not helping him. Let's just be very clear. Trump is not siding with the Ukraine over Vladimir Putin, his main man. He's not doing it. Period. Zelensky is in no position of power. He cannot come to the U.S. begging again. He's done. And what's going to happen is Trump's going to wink at some special branch of the CIA combined with the Wagner group and some other Mossad individuals and say, hey, get this guy out of here. Let's get him out of here. Just get him. Because these guys are running the world like mafia right now. You know that, right? They're running the world like the mafia. Make me an offer I can't refuse. Come to my daughter's wedding, disrespecting me. He's running the place like Trump is the Godfather, and that's what's going to happen. A horse head's going to show up in Zelensky's bed, okay? This guy's goose is cooked. I'm promising you, this guy is not going to last very long. The world is sick of him. And Ukraine, you're going to have a new president just now who's going to get along with Putin, right? They're going to shake hands. You're going to have a peace armistice, and then Putin's going to come in there and rape your backside for all of your damn minerals, because that's what they want. And the U.S. is going to have a side deal that Trump will say, hey, if you can get some, I can get some. Give us a little something. Give me a win here. Give me a win. We got rid of your problem. And that's going to be it. Lickety split. And then all of our attention will be refocused back to the doggone Middle East, where Trump has just made a deal with Saudi Arabia to potentially undermine the Israeli government. And if you think he hasn't, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, I know I'm all over the place, but if you think Trump didn't go to Qatar and didn't sit down with those sheiks and cut himself a deal that has undermined the Israeli interest in that region, then you don't know America. In the words of Henry Kissinger, that to be a friend of America, to be an enemy of America is dangerous, but to be her friend is fatal. Henry Kissinger said that. To be an enemy of America is dangerous, but to be her friend is fatal. So you watch Netanyahu. If you have any sense, let this man work out his situation from a distance. Donald is not in your favor. Donald's in the favor of Donald, and you be very, very careful. And don't get yourself involved with whatever Russia and Ukraine are going on. Nobody else should get involved with that. That's said from the very beginning. That is nobody's business. That is their business. Leave them be. And all of the Ukrainian people who got out of Dodge and came to Canada, you're smart. You're very smart. But you got a buffoon at the helm. All right? This is not an indictment against Ukrainian people. It's an indictment against Zelensky. He's a dummy. He's a dummy. Right? And he doesn't have a leg to stand on, unfortunately. And if the Ukrainians have been defending themselves, yes, they have been. You know why? You know why the Ukrainians have been defending themselves? Two reasons. Reason number one is that the Russians, and just like the rest of the world now, are sending little children to fight in wars. These kids are video game players. They're not out here to fight in nobody's war. Secondly, it's actually three reasons. Secondly, the world has bestowed incredible weaponry and training on these young Ukrainian boys who've been locked in their country, forced to fight, and said, hey, fight for your homeland or die. Fight for your homeland or die. Zelensky is a domestic terrorist. He locked all of the young men and middle-aged, said, no, none of you are leaving. Let the women leave, but you guys can't leave. And forced them, conscripted them into the army and said, fight or die. You're fighting for your homeland, you fight or die. You got nowhere to go. And you try to leave here with two in your back of your head. That's what Zelensky did to the men in the Ukraine. Didn't let those jokers leave. And so those dudes are really fighting. The Russian kids are over there fighting because they were told to go fight, and they're not really interested in the fight. And that's the only reason that that little band of merry Ukrainian men has held off the Russians, right? But really, when the full force of Russia comes tumbling down, the Ukrainians not going to be able to do anything, because Russia can win that fight without even putting boots on the ground. They can win that fight from the air, from satellites, from drone strikes. They can wipe you guys out, but they don't want to. They're trying to figure it out. And so what's going to happen is they say, who's the problem here? Problem's Zelensky, because you can't touch Putin. You can't think something negative in the direction of Vladimir Putin, and it doesn't show up on some kind of screening, some kind of computer's going to say, beep, 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 beep. Brereton has said something negative about Vladimir Putin, and I wouldn't dare. That's one dude I'm not saying nothing negative about, ever. I ain't saying nothing. I'm gonna wait till he's pushing up daisies before I ever say anything crazy about that man. That's the most powerful man in the world, period. And if you want problems, start talking crazy about Vladimir Putin. I'm not. I like my life. I like the peace and tranquility of my life. I don't want to have to evoke Yahweh to come deal with Putin, the most powerful man on the planet right now. I don't want to have to do that. Okay? Because my prayers go deep. Okay, and I'll rise up as a nuclear weapon. I'm not trying to go into that drama because he's actually helping Africa. He's doing a very good job. I love what he's doing. I think he's one of the greatest leaders of modern day. And if you don't like it, too bad for you, because it's what you've done for me lately. That's how I'm evaluating you. What are you doing for us? I'm not evaluating you on what these Western imperialist colonizers say about Vladimir Putin. Is one of the greatest men who ever lived, in my opinion. And he's one of the wisest, smartest, and he's definitely the most powerful and definitely the richest man in the world right now. And that's the man that you don't talk about, because he's not going away after 4 years. He's going to be there, period. So don't play with him. Don't play with him. Trump and all you Latinos for Trump and all you black people with freckles for Trump and everybody else for Trump. That guy's gone in a few years. He's off unless he passes an addendum to the Constitution to allow him to serve perpetually. Because that's what some of y'all want. Y'all want Trump forever. Y'all want Trump to be the emperor of America. I can't wait for him to pull that one, because he will. He's trying. And you guys are going to fight for that. You're going to fight for that one, because you want an emperor. And this is the funniest part, is that America has an emperor, but they're sending generals to undermine President Chirori and saying, oh, you got to bring back democratic elections. Get lost. Y'all don't have any. You don't have democracy in America, because Russia is deciding all of your elections. That's right. All your elections are computer generated, and they are being coerced by foreign powers who want people who will work with them. And that's why Trump is back. That's why Trump is back. So Zelensky, you don't know how the game works, bro. That's your problem. You don't know how the game works. You're running around in bad colors, right? He wears charcoal all the time. He's always in a charcoal sweater and a charcoal jacket. Who dresses you, bro? Do you need to go to Fashion Week or something? Like, you need to go to Prague and figure out, what you're supposed to look like. Like, he's an absolute horrendous demonstration of an individual who's the federal head of any country. Chirori's walking around in his military attire. I'm a soldier. Putin is wearing a business suit. Trump is wearing a business suit. Carney's wearing a business suit. What are you rocking in? Honestly, like, what are you rock? I don't wear ties, but come on, like, put something on that makes you look distinguished. Nothing about this guy lends to credibility. He's just crying. And after they slapped you around in America, right, which was very disrespectful, it's clear how the world sees you. You're not a man that holds any respect, and you're begging. He was so upset that the delegation was not crowned by Putin. He called them, this low-level delegation that has met with me, and he left. He left the referendum or whatever it was, and then he tried to send back his low-level guys. It was like the Great Schism. It was like, oh, well, you're not going to meet me? Well, who am I meeting with? I'm meeting with your ministers and not your president. Well, I'm going home and you're going to send my ministers. Like, it's high school. It's stupid. And it's a gang war. It's a local gang war of gang thugs. Really what it is. And they put this comedian, that's what he was, a comedian, to run a country. This is what you get. And I think maybe the world's going to figure out that we actually need to bring politicians back and let politicians run our country. Maybe we need to do that. I don't know. But having, reality stars run your country and it's a joke, man. People who are trained to run things, let them run things. Well, I don't know why we have all of these credentials to do everything. You got to fill out an application to work in the gas station. You got to make sure you don't have a criminal record. They're looking at your resume to work as a cashier in a gas station, but you don't need a resume to be a president or be a world leader. You can just be some clown that used to do stand-up. I don't know what y'all want. That's not what I want for my life. I don't want people like that running policy. That's why I'm glad Carney is the prime minister and not Poilievre. And I'm sorry, I actually, most times I lean towards PC. I've been a member of the PC party in Canada before. That was when Leslie and Lewis had a chance of being the leader of the PC party, because I'm looking for bright people to lead the country. I don't want people stupider than me. Honestly, I ain't that stupid. So you've got to be a sharp cookie. You got to know what you're talking about. I'm not going to sit down at a criminal case where somebody's coming after me, where somebody wants to take away my civil liberties and take away my freedom for something I didn't do, and sit down with a lawyer that I got to explain the law to him, that I'm a better orator than him, a litigator than him or her. No. You got to be better than me to represent me. You can't just say, "Oh, I'll represent you." No, thanks. You got to be a better doctor than me. You got to be a better surgeon than me to operate on me. I don't want no nonsense like that. No. Even something as simple as, oh, you know what? I like your style. I'm a stylist. You better be a better stylist than me because I'm a fantastic stylist. I put myself together. Glasses coming back. That was a call back because I'm outside. I'm outside. I'm outside. I'm outside. I'm outside. But Zelensky, you should be back inside. Go back inside. Sit down. In Trinidad, they would say, boy, come inside. Come inside. You're embarrassing yourself. Sit down here. Sit down here. No, listen, let me tell you something. Stop your bacchanal. That's how they would have talked to him. Some older man would have said, hey, listen, we put you here because really, we didn't have nobody else. All right? I want to make you know that. Hey, we just put you here because you're funny and thing, and we felt that you was all right, but listen, you're getting on stupid now. Stop your bacchanal. That's what we should tell him. That's what somebody should tell him. Because if you really look at what this man is going around doing, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. You have come you've flown in, and under great expense. Like, you don't come out of a war-torn country, get on a plane, right? How are you getting on a plane as a president when your country's at war? You've got to put together your Air Force One. You've got to put fighter jets to follow you. You've got to land these fighter jets in that country that you're going to. You've got to enable all these servicemen and women to protect you. All right? You've got to expend probably for this guy to move from one place to another. It costs millions of dollars, probably an hour, not a day, an hour. Multi-billion-dollar jets, personnel, fuel, etc., clearing the airway, coming, landing. You get to this place and you don't know that the other president that you're going to meet is not going to be there. You don't know who you're going to meet with, and then you arbitrarily decide to pick up and leave when you are dealing with the lives of your citizens. You're a jerk. Something's wrong with you. You're a clown. Something's really wrong with you. And that's exactly what the Russians call him. They call him a clown. You come all this way. We're the people you need to talk to. Don't worry about talking with Putin right now. He doesn't even like you. You're better off talking to us. Oh, I'm not talking to you guys. I refuse to meet with you. I refuse. You're not in a position. Trump told him that. You're not in a position to have that type of mindset. Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are? What are you going to tell Vladimir Putin? They said, what message would you like for Vladimir Putin to know? I'm here. That's your big talk? You're talking big so? Listen, this thing should have been settled like ancient times, where they put these two guys in the ring and put weapons in their hand and say, listen, the guy who wins, take everything. And I'm still putting my money on Putin. I'm still putting my money on old Vladimir. Okay? A guy by the name of Vladimir, I ain't playing with him. And actually, aren't both of them named Vladimir? I think both of them are named Vladimir, right? Yeah, I'm putting my money on Putin. I'm putting my money on the Russian version, right? Anyways, let me see what you folks are saying. Am I low? Am I sometimes I am. You know, sometimes I don't operate. You deserve paying higher taxes. Paying higher taxes. Listen, rich people don't pay taxes. You're talking about paying higher taxes. I ain't worrying about taxes in Canada. Canada's not a place you come to worry about taxes, because we're a socialist country. All we do is get taxed. Okay? Canada, you don't come to Canada to worry about taxes. You don't come in. When the Syrians came, they didn't say, "Oh no, we're going to Canada and we're going to have to pay taxes." When the Ethiopians came and the Sudanese came, they didn't say, "Oh no, we're coming to Canada and they're going to charge us taxes." They come to Canada because it's safe. That's why they come to Canada. They come to Canada because we're not in any international fights. That's why they come to Canada. They come to Canada because the billions of dollars that they steal from their governments, they can put it in our Canadian banks. And that's why we didn't have the global financial crisis that they did in America, because our financial institutions are safe, right? That's why they come to Canada. So don't sit around here talking about taxes and taxes. Listen, taxes are for poor people. Did you know that? That's what taxes are for. They're for poor people. They're for poor people to pay. That's right. And so you know how you alleviate paying taxes? You start a business. That's right. You become an entrepreneur so that they can't tax you. You pay tax when you feel like paying tax. So you got to be smart. So don't tell me about, oh, you're worried. Don't tell me about taxes. I don't care how many. I don't care what kind of taxes Carney puts on. I don't care if he taxes you people 75%. I don't care what he does. He ain't gonna affect my money because I'm smarter than him. I'm smarter than most of y'all too. I ain't working like that. Okay? Rich people don't pay tax. And if they don't pay tax, I'm not gonna pay tax, but I'm gonna follow what they're doing. Okay. You make your money through corporations, right? Corporations. You start and if you have to start a few of them, do what Donald Trump does: shut them down, start them again, shut them down, start them again. Rich people don't pay tax. Don't tell me about tax. Canada's not about tax. Canada's the safest nation in the world. That's why people are here. They're not here because it's Florida. They're not here because it's Costa Rica or it's the Cayman Islands. They're here because it's safe. That's why they're here. Okay, so let's understand that. The world picked him up after, and now Putin wants peace. It's solidarity with a country that's been in war. We want leaders that haven't sold out America. America, I don't know about that. Great reset. Have a great day. Get prepped. Still with those black Latinos. Okay. Lee. You deserve paying higher tax. And you're not sharp enough. Oh, we're talking about Lee. Lee misspelled the word sharp. Okay, I understand. Listen. What time is it? Oh, I got a little time to talk to y'all. Listen, man. The world is getting much more simpler. You know why the world is getting simpler? It's getting so much simpler for me as a man growing into my greatness, and for you too. There's two reasons the world is getting simpler. Number one, social media. We have each other's ideas to bounce off, right? So we're able now to get information before that was just being fed to us by politicized press. But that's the second reason that the world is getting simpler is because our leaders are getting dumber. And so because our leaders are getting dumber, and because you and I are having more conversation, and whether you like me or don't like me, I have a point, and you have a point, and she has a point, and we put all these points together, and we now have perspective. And when we now manage perspective with the imbeciles that we are voting into power, we sit there and we realize, this thing isn't that complicated. It's really not, right? Most of the things that we're dealing with today is based on motive. What is the motive? It used to be nationalism. But now we have two major motives. One is ego, and one is greed. Those are the two basic mottos and motives of most things. There was a time that we would have let Putin annex Crimea, go in there and do whatever he wanted to, because that's not our problem. Because it's too complicated to figure out. But our motive of greed and power, wanting to say, no, we know why he's doing that now. These guys have minerals. He wants the minerals. He wants to control them. We want to control them. And our alliance has nothing to do with caring about the Ukrainian people. We just want those minerals. That's a very simple premise to understand. Nationalism, I mean, the last place that really practiced nationalism on a world level was probably what? The Byzantines. Before then, the Romans and the Greeks. You know, America is trying to be still establish this sense of nationalism, but it's falling. It's been falling apart for years since your corporations have become multinational, since your interests have become multinational. American is no longer an actual nation. It's a symbol of something that's dead. That's something that no longer exists. If America was an important place to Americans, you would never let fools run your nation. If America was important to the people in America, you still would not have these conversations about systematic racism. You would have realized right now that some of the greatest people in the world that can help you don't look like you, don't come from where you come from. You would have combined your forces with individuals that moved and became part of your melting pot, and you would have said, let's have a brain trust of greatness to make sure that we are the best. We thought that when President Obama one was put in place, we thought, wow, America is really moving in the direction of saying it's not about what you look like, it's about the best man, it's about the best woman for the job. But America, since Obama, has had a knee-jerk, a pulling of the reins. It's yanked back the horse's head and steered it in another direction, almost breaking its neck, because you've decided that's not what you want at all. You rather the ego. You rather having the nationalism of saying this is our country. We have the right to be the leaders here. We can't go to Saudi Arabia and a white man can become the president of Saudi Arabia or Qatar. We can't go to Africa and a white man be the leader of Africa. And we should not allow people who are not from here, do not look like us, who did not found this country, to be the leaders here. And we want our country back. And that's what you've said. And whether or not people like it or not, that's the choice of every American. That's why you have those types of leaders now. And that's why the world is getting simpler, because it's being run by simple people with simple agendas, with simple minds. And I agree 100%, Michelle Johnson, we all bleed red. We all bleed red. And the quicker that we adopt the prophetic mind of Gene Roddenberry and truly become a world where all nations work together for the good of everyone in the world, we are just children playing sticks and stones games with more deadlier weapons. And that's why the world is simple. Because childishness is simple, is obvious to see. Whether or not you're a president, whether or not you're a general, or whether or not you're a little boy or a little girl in the playground. And we are just watching playground games, and we've given people power to play playground games with our lives. And there is no bigger clown running around in the playground of life than President Zelensky. And he should be an example of what happens when you let fools run your country and call them what you want. But Vladimir is not a fool. Terori is definitely not a fool. And it's coming, I think there's coming a time where we are going to again say, where are the statesmen? As in the words of Lee Iacocca, a fantastic book, you should read it. Where have all the leaders gone? Where have they gone? They're not in the Ukraine. God bless you. Take it easy. The behavior is important. It's nice to be famous, a celeb, but it's more important to be nice. I like that. Time for daily calls to the hill. And then if you want to, has there been a black prime minister in Canada yet? There has not. There is not. That's a great question. There has not. The closest potentially that we came, in my memory, because I'm not a big fan of Canadian parliamentary politics, because it's dictatorship. One guy, as we saw, was the prime minister for 10 years. Leslie and Lewis, Dr. Leslie and Lewis, tried to become the head of the PC party, and I believe if she was the head of the PC party, it would be different. But no, Canada has not had a true black leader in Canada. Probably never will. Probably never will. And everything, and the reason that we spend so much time talking about America is because America, for the people of color, regardless of your history, you have the most potential for hope for peoples of color. And so for a person like myself who was educated in America but raised in Canada, I have the perspective to look at the situation and say, you know what? Canada's safe, but it's extremely racist. It's overtly racist. It's racist to the point that they kill you in the womb. America is racist as well. But America has so much potential that it still gives us hope. All right. God bless you. Thank you very much. This is Del K. Brereton. You have a blessed day too, Michelle Johnson, and to all the Cyclopses that are in the building. I'm outside, and we'll talk soon.